That's good. We are on live now, I think. So students will be start joining us very shortly. Actually, they will start joining us very shortly. I mean, as we are here now. That's good. Student has started joining us soon. We are just waiting few seconds, for the students. So by that time, they will start joining us. Just waiting for them. They have started joining us. That's good. Uh, I think few of the students has already joined, and rest of them will join us very soon. So, dear students, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Like whoever you have joined us from different countries, maybe. So, hope you all are doing good. So today, as per our discussions, definitely we'll talk about study in Denmark opportunities. So I know we do have many students those are really interested for Denmark. So this is very high opportunity for all of you, to ask your queries and watch the session and enjoy the session and learn about studying Denmark opportunities, and especially about SDU, Southern Denmark University. And today we do have a special guest from SDU. It is Signe Lund. Um, Signe Lund, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Surely. Thank
Loud
you
and
so
clearly.
much. So I was request you to, introduce yourself for our students, please.
I'd love to. So, yeah, my name is Sina, and I am from the University of Southern Denmark. I am from the Faculty of Engineering, but I already see that there are some other questions about other faculties. I'll do my best to try and answer them. But my specialty is engineering, and that's where we get most of our students for.
That's good. Thank you so much for joining the session today. I know you're very busy, but still you managed the time to join the session today. So now I was request you to show the presentation about SDU so that our students can, I mean, get to know about SDU and definitely about Denmark.
I would love to. So,
Thank you.
first of all, thank you very much for joining this webinar. I'm happy to tell everyone a bit about our study programs and how it is to study in Denmark and live in Denmark as well. So, I don't know how much you know about Denmark, but a big thing in Denmark is, of course, the work-life balance. Copenhagen is at the moment the number one country or the number one city in the world when it comes to work-life balances. Part of why is that we have a very good and flexible working hour schedule. Usually we work 37 hours a week, which is not a lot compared to a lot of other countries. We always have our weekends off. We have approximately 5 or 6 weeks of vacation every year. And if you are a parent, you want to do a maternity leave, you get an entirety of 52 weeks for parental leave that you can split equally between both parents. The inhabitants in Denmark as well, you've probably heard about this word called hygge, which is kind of a lifestyle that we have in Denmark. It's a word that it's a bit hard to explain or to translate, but it's basically about coziness, just hanging out, having a chill and very comfortable lifestyle. Um, so yeah, and of course, this is what makes Copenhagen part of the, or makes Copenhagen the most, well, having the best work-life balance. But of course, these are also things that are true for the rest of the country. The same with the flat hierarchy, which is also part of, generally speaking, a Scandinavian lifestyle. That we don't use sir, madam, professor, doctor, something like that. We always use first name basis. It's very relaxing and very familiar to speak with your professors or your boss or something like that, at work, but also at social functions as well. So we have a couple of different campuses at our university. Our main campus is located in Odense, which is the third largest city of Denmark. It's kind of known as the fairy tale city of Denmark. Some of you might know the author Hans Christian Andersen, who wrote The Little Mermaid, The Ugly Duckling, and a few other stories. He's from Odense, so that's also why it's known as our fairy tale city. It's also a very strong robotics hub with a very strong connection between the faculty, but also the companies itself. So we have a lot of students working part-time jobs at robotics companies or other engineering companies in general, and also, of course, in other faculties, other relevant companies. We have a very modern campus in pretty much all of our locations. And that also means that as an engineering student, you will have access to different labs, workshops, 3D printers, laser cutters, basically any equipment that you might dream of. It's the same if you go for the Faculty of Natural Sciences. There are also tons of labs and workshops that you can use. And we have also a housing guarantee at the campus in Odense. That is, however, unfortunately, the only one that we do have a housing guarantee for at the moment. In Odense, we only have masters taught in English. We don't have any bachelor programs, but that is a bit different with our other campus, which is the one that I'm located in, which is down here in Sønderborg. Here, everything's taught in English. There's no need to know Danish when you come study with us. If you want, of course, to choose an English taught program. We are a comprehensive university. We do have a lot of Danish taught programs as well. One of you asked me about archaeology. We unfortunately do not have that in Danish. Oh, sorry, in English. We only have it in Danish. But if you're interested in things like Middle East studies, American studies, or English studies, something like that, which is also kind of history based, that would be an option. But that would be it, unfortunately. At least at the moment. We do keep expanding and opening up new study programs. I will also get back to that in a moment for the Faculty of Engineering. But down here in Sønderborg, we have, as I said, everything taught in English. We are more than 75% international students from all over the world. So it's not just Denmark, Germany, Northern Europe. It's also Colombia, Mexico, Nigeria, Nepal, a lot from India as well, Indonesia, Vietnam, you name it, we almost certainly have it. We have 14 English taught programs down here, and we work a lot of practical, or we work a lot of, we work very practical, and we work in smaller groups. We work basically in order to close the gap between studies and working afterwards. And yeah, we have again a very modern campus directly at the waterfront. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures afterwards, and then the Scandinavian lifestyle that I talked to you about earlier. So again, it's an international campus, but still Danish university, and we still have a very international, relaxed, familiar vibe about the place. Here are a few pictures of the city. The city itself is somewhat small. Only 30,000 people are living here, but we are approximately 1,500 students. There are lots of activities to do, even though it is a small town. You can easily go out, have fun, go to restaurants. There are a lot of sports. We are located on an island, so there are a lot of water sports in particular. It doesn't, of course, get as warm here as it does in a lot of other countries, but it's still very nice. The study programs that we have for our engineering programs are these. We have Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Science in most of our programs. The difference between a Bachelor of Engineering and a Bachelor of Science is how practical they are or how academic they are. The Bachelor of Science programs are more academic, they're a bit more theoretical. However, they still have the practical experience. At least a third of your semester will be spent in labs, workshops, working on something. And the Bachelor of Engineering is more practical. It is a 3.5 year study program, and you will graduate with the title of an engineer. The Bachelor of Science is a 3 year program, and it's only when you do the master afterwards that you will get the title of an engineer. That's basically the differences. We have electronics, we have mechanical engineering, we have the mix of the two in mechatronics. They both have Bachelor of Engineering and the Bachelor of Science. And then we have our Engineering, Innovation, and Business, which is our business engineer. And then this year we have software engineering starting up as an English taught bachelor as well. Then for the masters, we have a few newcomers. At the moment, we already have electronics, mechatronics, engineering, innovation, and business. Then we have in Odense robot systems or robotics. We have software and physics and technology. Software engineering will start a master in Sonneborg next year as well. Physics and technology will be moved to Sonneborg. And next year, we will also start the mechanical engineering master. So there are quite a few choices just for our small faculty. And here are a few pictures of our lovely campus. As I said, it is on an island. So we have water, we have ocean. It's not just a small stream or lake or everything, and it's something like that. It is the Baltic Sea that comes in and sweeps around the island. So we have boats sailing by. You can sit outside, enjoy your lunch, enjoy the sun. And we have trees inside. It's something that gives a really cozy environment as well. And especially for winter, we put winter Christmas lights in them as well, just to make it super adorable. And then the top picture with the red sort of igloo that you can see, it used to be one of our classrooms. Now it's used for students and also, of course, faculty members to meet with companies. We do have very close cooperation with companies down here, which I will also get back to in a tiny bit. We also have a clean room. The top picture on the right is from our clean room. It's a class 100, which means it has very, very few particles per square centimeter. It's one of the few in Europe, so we do have companies, other universities, researchers come to our university as well to do experiments. And then, of course, the picture below is just to show how practical we actually are. They are working on projects, not something that I just say. It's very hands-on. The way that we teach is, of course, with our semester projects. They are a third of your study program every semester. And we want you to come up with ideas, to develop something by yourself. Of course, depending on your study program, the outcome will be different. In the beginning, you do have some basic rules or regulations that you should follow or guidelines that you should follow. For example, this semester project is a semester project where they had to build a robot that could climb a fence or a ladder or some ropes, and it had to be inspired by an animal. So they got the inspiration from a gecko. They developed a virtual model, and then they built the robot with sensors on top so that it could climb up, reach the top, and then figure out that it had to go down again. These semester projects are typically of groups in groups of 3 to 5 people, but we also sometimes work in larger groups called experts and teams. Because we have so many or such a good relations to our different companies in the area, both small local ones, but also large multinational companies, we can offer a first job guarantee from the campus in Sonneborg. It is for 6 months, and it's not an internship. It is a full paid engineering job. The starting salary of an engineer in Denmark is approximately around 4,500 euros a month. And then you have the 6 months to prove yourself to the company that you are a good employee, that you know your stuff, and then typically they would offer you a permanent position. But you also have the right to say, no, thank you. I've tried this out. Now I'd like to go somewhere else. And that's completely okay. I do have a small video
Sure.
about it as well. Let's see if it works. Oh, no, it doesn't seem to. We will skip it. And then if you'd like, you can always contact us and get the video or find it on YouTube. It's of course in there.
So, Signa, I do have a question about fast job
Yes.
guarantee. So, is just for bachelor students or is for master's students too?
No. So the first job guarantee are for all that graduate with an engineering title. So that means if you graduate a Bachelor of Engineering degree, which is the 3.5 year more practical degree, then you can get the first job guarantee. And if you graduate your master degree in engineering from Sonabort, then you
Okay.
can also have a first job
Okay.
guarantee.
So, whatever it is, like if it is engineering one, so then they can get it fast job
Yes.
guarantee. Okay,
Yes.
that's really good. That's really awesome. I
Absolutely.
mean, no, that's really good opportunities for the, I will say, international students especially.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And we do a lot of activities with international students and also with different companies. I will get back to that in a bit
Sure,
as
sure,
well.
sure. No problem.
For the first job guarantee, we do have a few requirements. One is that you have to collaborate with your company, with a company during your study program. It can either be your master thesis, your bachelor thesis, an internship, or an in-company project. The semester projects are not quite large enough projects for them to be counting in this sense. So it has to be one
Hmm.
of the others. You also have to complete your degree within a set time. So you're not allowed to delay. You're not allowed to take longer than the 2 years for the master or longer than the 3.5 years for the Bachelor of Engineering. And then last but not least, you have to learn a tiny bit of Danish, only
Okay,
to a
okay.
B1 level. And we do offer Danish classes for all students for free. The hardest part about learning Danish is probably to practice it, especially the pronunciation. It's quite hard.
Understand.
But then again, insist that you want to practice the language and then that we Danes will also speak Danish with you instead of switching to English. Um, I also want to say that this first job guarantee is a safety net. You don't need to know Danish before arriving, that's for sure. But if you feel like you don't have the time to learn Danish while studying, or you think it's too hard or something like that, remember this is a safety net. So even before we had this first job guarantee, more than 80% of our students had a job in the area right after they graduated. So you don't have to worry if you don't fulfill the requirements. There's still plenty of opportunities to find a job and a part-time job as a student as well. We do have sort of a few different activities on campus, which are called, some of them we call matchmaking events, or job fairs basically, where you can book a time with a different company and then you can give them your resume, talk to them a bit about what your skills are, what kind of jobs they offer, and then find a part-time job in the area. Hopefully something that's a bit more relevant for your study program as well. But you can also work in retail, in different restaurants, cafes, deliver newspapers. There's all sorts of different jobs that you can do as a student. On a student visa, you can also work up to 20 hours a week during the semesters, and then in the summer break, you can work full time. So there's plenty of opportunity as well to save some money or earn some money. And we do have a pretty good minimum salary in Denmark as well. So yeah, student jobs, as I said, the minimum salary is approximately 13.5 euro per hour. If you find something that is a bit more relevant, it will earn more. Typically in a company, you'd get around maybe 15 to 18 euros an hour, which is pretty good. And there are multiple job portals in English as well, of course, that we can help you find. and also sometimes connect you with different companies. I've talked a lot about this practical experience already, but I would like to tell you a bit about our SDU Entrepreneurship Labs, because if you dream of opening up your own company or have be your own boss, basically, we can also help with that. Our SDU Entrepreneurship Labs you could go to if you have an idea of a company or a product even. They will help you get funding. They can help you find places where you can pitch your ideas and get funding that way. Um, how to apply for different funding as well. They can help you with a business plan, how to do market research, but also what your next step in development should be. There are a lot of different things they can help with. And because we have our SDU Entrepreneurship Labs, we are now very proud to say that we are number one in Denmark when it comes to entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial universities. We are the university in Denmark with most startups by students, but of course, more importantly, most successful startups by students. And that's Danish as well as international students. We also, of course, I said that we had the housing guarantee in Odense, but in the other cities, we also have cheap housing. We don't have a housing guarantee at the moment. We are working to getting to it, but we do have cheap housing. Typically, the prices are around 260 to 400 euros a month, of course, depending on what you choose. If you want a larger apartment because you have maybe a partner or a sibling or friends that would like to join you, the price would typically be a bit higher, so around 500 euros a month. But then, of course, you would split the bill, so that would be still only 250 euro. The
Hmm.
other choices that you have for housing is to have your own studio apartment with your own kitchen and bathroom. That would be maybe around 300, 350 euros a month. And then the cheapest option that you could choose is to have your own living space and your own bathroom, but then you'd share the kitchen with other people. You'd still have your own cupboard and have a full fridge by yourself, so you don't have to worry about mixing with other people. You never know if maybe you forgot
I
who bought
understand.
what. But that's the cheapest option, and still also a very good way to get to know the other students. And yeah, here are a few pictures
Yeah, like
that
Signa, I would like to ask you, request you to go back to the last one.
yes.
So as you said, like students can get the funding actually regarding their business. So is it from the university or is from government, like Danish authority, or how does it
So
work?
for the startups, there are different sort of like pitching competitions around,
Hmm.
and then there are different companies that would like to invest, or private people
Okay.
would like to invest. So it's more in that sense. So it's not the Danish government or the
No, no, no.
university
Okay, okay,
itself.
okay. So different company would like to invest. Is it like
Yes,
a, so is it for um business faculty students or is open for everyone?
it's for everyone. It's
Okay.
for business, it's for engineering, it's
All
for
right.
humanities, if you have an idea. So it's for everyone.
Okay. And is it like a something they can do these things during their studies, or like they must have to finish their degree then they can do this?
Oh no, they can do it during their studies. We have a lot of
Okay.
students who have a semester project, or we had a group from a few different study programs that got together on a larger project from their semester, from the fifth semester, I believe.
Hmm.
And then they went to develop it a bit further and went to the SU Entrepreneurship Labs, went to some competitions where they won some funding. Yeah,
Understand, understand. That's really good. That's really good, you know. That's really good opportunity for the international students, I will say.
absolutely.
I mean, and is there any limitations like how much they do budget, or it depends on the project, like what
It
kind of?
depends on the project and which
I understand.
competitions they go to.
I
There are, of
understand.
course, some that are willing to invest more and some that are willing to invest not so
No,
much.
I understand. I totally understand. And also, it depends on project as well. Sometimes in some
Absolutely.
projects you need more money, in some projects you need less money, and so on. I understand that, but still, it's
Exactly.
a really good opportunity. I mean, as we do work for many countries, but I will say this is one of the unique opportunity I have heard from Denmark. Actually, I haven't heard this opportunity from many other countries. Not
Wonderful
really.
to hear
Yep.
it.
So
Lovely.
that's really good. And also housing, as you said, like still it's not guaranteed, but they can get a cheap housing.
Yes, and we are working on getting more housing as well. So I know at least in Sanabo, we are hoping to get 400 more student housing,
Hmm.
or yeah,
And
in
this housing, is it
2027.
like a very nearby to the university?
Yes. I'm sitting in my office at the moment and
Hmm.
looking right across the ocean because I have a lovely view of the ocean.
That's, yeah, this is
And I
what
can
you
look,
told
I'm
us.
looking directly into one of the dormitories. So
I
it's,
understand.
I don't know, maybe
Couple of minutes.
300 meters away.
Yeah, just couple of minutes, like a walking distance. That
Exactly,
is
yeah.
really lovely. This is really lovely. That's good. All right, then move ahead, please.
Yes, of course.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, these are some of the dormitories.
Hmm.
And as I
Very
said
lovely.
before, if you get a kitchen, you will share it, or if you share a kitchen with others, you will get a cupboard. You can see the colored cupboards in the back. They all have a number. And the number, of course, matches the number of your apartment. So you will be the only one who has a key for that cupboard. And there are always, in the dormitories, there are always a green area, typically also a place where you can do some barbecuing. There is also usually community room where you can celebrate birthdays or other uh, different national holidays or something like that if you'd like. New Year's is also often celebrated there, or Christmas for those who celebrate that. And green areas, there's typically a gym as well. So yeah, they are very well equipped, so to speak. And
That's
when
really
arriving to
good.
Denmark, sorry,
Sorry.
oh no, all good.
Okay.
So when you arrive to Denmark, there are of course some practical things that you need to take care of, which we of course will help you with. So when arriving in Denmark, you will get a social security number and a small social security card. We call it our yellow card. And everyone gets this. Your social security number, we call it CPR number, is your health card as well, and you'll use it to open up bank accounts. Will go to the doctor for free, even to the emergency room, so you don't have to worry about that. Small story is we had a student from Colombia who unfortunately fell off his bike and broke his arm. He was driven with an ambulance to the emergency room, had surgery, and got money to take the bus back with another student as well to support him. So you don't have to worry about calling an ambulance or being scared to have an extremely large bill if you have to go to the doctor or something like that. It's very good health system that we have in Denmark and the Scandinavian countries in general.
Yes.
So yeah, and then of course there is the matter of financing your stay here. Typically, students say that including housing, living expenses, and everything, they pay around maybe 600 or 700 euros a month, which is not a lot, of course. And I've already spoken a bit to you about the student jobs that you can have. We have the job portals, and then you can meet up with different companies on campus where we have these matchmaking events and job fairs. So it's very, very easy. At least we try to make it as easy as possible.
Hmm.
Then, when you arrive, of course, you don't know the places or the university, the country, probably either. So we are going to try and make everything as comfortable and fun for everyone as possible. We have our new students starting this week. So tomorrow we have our first introductory day with a lot of activities for new students. Then Thursday we have something that we call Activity Day. And that is where all of the organizations in town, they come to university and talk about what kind of sports you can make. You can sign up for the intro tour, which is basically signing up to get kidnapped for the weekend, I guess you could say. You get put on a bus, you get blindfolded because you're not allowed to know where you're going, and then you go somewhere for the weekend with all the other new students. You have fun, you have a lot of different activities, sort of to get to know each other. And then after the weekend's done, you go back home and continue your studies the next week, basically. We also, of course, because we do have a lot of bikes in Denmark, we bicycle
Yes.
everywhere, basically.
Yes.
um, so we have something that we call dorm races, where you go on a bicycle from one dormitory to another, see where other people are living, how they are living, and then you have fun at the same time. We also, for those who would like to go out, we also have something. We have a pub crawl every semester. In the beginning of the semester, we also have an intro party, so you can get to know the city, but also party with your fellow students. All of this is organized by our intro team, which is the lovely picture of the people in the corner. And of course, it is growing because we're getting more and more students. They also do love to get new people joining them. If you have ideas, more than welcome to join. And they also do other activities as well, of course. Before COVID, they haven't managed it afterwards, but before COVID, they turned the entire university campus into one large escape room. So you'd have to compete, see who had the best time, try to see if you could escape the university. It was a major success, and both students and faculty members participated. So we are hoping that they're going to do it again. Tuition fees are, I don't know if any of you listening have a dual citizenship with an EU
No,
citizenship, because if
most
you
of them,
do,
they are international students. So yeah. So
yes, I imagined. But if you should have an EU
yes.
citizenship, you do not pay tuition fees. You study for free in Denmark. But for those of you well, most of you who don't have an EU
Yes.
citizenship, the tuition fees are for the Bachelor of Engineering, 5,350 euros per semester. And for the Bachelor of Science and the Master of Science Engineering, it's 6,950 euro per semester. So it's a maximum of 14,000 for a full academic year. It's, of course, a lot of money for some people, me included, but it's not as expensive as in a lot of other countries, thankfully, as well.
Yes.
And we do have a few scholarships for the masters in electronics and mechatronics, but we don't have a lot. We have maybe 2023 scholarships, and we only get less and less, unfortunately. So, but again, if you have a student job, we've had plenty of students studying both bachelor's and masters without scholarships, who earned enough money to actually pay for the next semester. So that's it is possible.
So I have a question. Like in your scholarship, how much does it carry actually? Like a
So at the moment, the scholarships that we have are full scholarships,
okay,
but
that's
we
really
are
great.
looking, yes, but we are looking into maybe changing it a bit so that we will have some full scholarships and some partial. Um,
Actually, this is also
yeah,
a great thing. I would like to share my experiences regarding these issues. Like, as I have told you, we are working with like Swedish universities and so on. So here, like one of our partner universities, this is what they do. So initially, even for them, initially they had like a 50% scholarship. So next year, what they do nowadays, what they're doing it like a 25%. But so now they have increased double numbers. So instead of that, so maybe that could be just my ideas just sharing with you. So something could be really good so that like we can cover more students than someone only
yes,
got full and someone got nothing. So maybe that base also we can, or you can, let's say 10 is, let's say you give 20 students now, so among them you can say 10 students, very top 10 you can say is still full, and rest you can give 20 more students, and for them it's like 50-50, so more students
yeah,
will get it.
exactly. So that's what we're trying to
Something
do.
like
Yeah,
that you can make a plan. So I mean, my point of view is also that like so that most of the students will be happy for that and they will get something.
absolutely, yes. And when you apply for the study program, you automatically apply for a scholarship. So there's no need to do any additional application. All non-EU citizens that apply for the master will automatically apply for the scholarships, and then we will look at a few different
Okay,
things
okay. So
to
they don't
assess
need
it.
to do the application separately for the
No,
master's program.
no,
So that's
that is
really also a
all
good thing.
happens automatically. Yes.
Okay, okay. And it's mainly for the master's program, not for bachelor at
It's
all.
only for the masters in electronics and mechatronics, and then from next year also mechanical engineering. We don't have any for the bachelors, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is what actually I've noticed in most of the even European countries. N- Very less, I will say, like European countries, they do offer a scholarship for bachelor students. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
now it's okay. It's okay. So these are the things, no issues. And also, like, okay, regarding this, actually, I do have a question for you. Uh, like when we are talking about like these things, sometimes like students they do ask one question, like, can they add that documentation later on after finishing the deadline? Let's say 1st of September will be the deadline to make the application. So if for an example, if some of the students they are having IELTS but they haven't got the IELTS result yet in their hand and so on, and also for the certificate or some things, just asking, so in that case, can they add those things later on? I mean, this is my question.
For the bachelor, yes. The master, we're trying to look into the process. The bachelor process in Denmark is set by the government, unfortunately. We can't really do much about that one. But for the master, we're trying to look into changing the process a tiny bit to see if we can also give an answer quicker so that we can, yeah, the application deadline for the bachelor is the 15th of March, but for uploading the IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge Language Certificate, and also the final diploma, it's the 5th of July. So that deadline is different. That's way further in the future. But for the masters, we're trying to see if we can have our students or applicants upload everything by the 1st of February so that we can give a definite answer within a few weeks and not having to wait till May or June. Um,
But
but yeah.
still they get little bit more time.
Yes. If you're still in your bachelor and you don't have your final diploma yet, send a full transcript of records and with official grades from the previous years, so the previous semesters. And then if if something's missing, our admissions office will also reach out to any applicant and ask for that specific document.
Okay,
Because
so they,
sometimes it slips your mind and then
yeah,
you
exactly,
upload it a bit
exactly. It
later.
happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens very normally. So that's why. So, but it's a really good opportunity because sometimes, like in some of the countries or universities, this is very strict. You do it or not. So,
Yes.
but this kind of opportunity is really good for the international students sometimes because, and sometimes like because some of the things they're getting delay and so on. Because when they
Yes.
sit for the IELTS, but it's still, I mean, because in peak hour, like all of the students they're going for the IELTS, and then like they're not getting the time and so on, slot for the IELTS. And when they sit for IELTS, even it takes another 14 days about. So, so this is
Yeah.
also fact like for the students. So if university, I mean here like they consider it, it is really good for the international students. That's a really
Absolutely.
good thing. I do have other questions because the questions I do have it is actually from the students. I know like because different time they do ask us same thing. um, for bachelor, um, do you need like a 13th class education for international countries like Asia or Africa,
It
or you have 12
depends.
class education? I mean, what is it actually like?
It depends a bit because there are some countries that need a foundation year for the bachelor, so you'd need 13th year. Um, but that is also depending on if you're applying for the Bachelor of Engineering or the Bachelor of Science. For the Bachelor of Science, you would need a foundation year, 13th year, because of the academic level. But for the Bachelor of Engineering, because it is a bit more practical and historically speaking in Denmark, it would be on different schools, but now everything's kind of merged. Um, So for the Bachelor of Engineering, most countries can go directly from high school, 12th year, yeah.
Okay. Signe, I was request you, like, if you have those things, I mean, later on, will it be possible to just send it to us? I mean, so that if you have those kind of list actually with you,
Absolutely, yes.
so that like internally we can check, and then based on that we can, because we are having the students from many countries, so sometimes it's difficult for us to say whether it will be okay or not. And if we
Yes,
get the list actually, then we can guide them accordingly. Then we don't have to ask you all the time. We can save you time as well if you just let us know about the list actually.
absolutely.
So all right then. And in this case also, do does the CGPA matter, like any specific things? Of course, better is always good, I do understand that, but is there any minimum set, you know what I mean? Because sometimes
Yes.
some of the universities they do have minimum set. So is there anything very minimum set?
For some of the study programs, yes. For
Okay.
software engineering, it's a new study program, but we had 110 students starting this year, which is
Hmm.
the maximum capacity. Um, so we have to, because it's new, we have to calculate exactly what the minimum GPT is or GPA is going to be. Um, but if you have a decent, the thing is, it's not the only thing that we look at. The reason why we also want a motivational letter is because we are looking at your grades, of course, your average grade score, but we're also looking at your motivation. Um, and also, of course, especially for the master, is looking at how well does your bachelor fit the master that you're applying to. Um, And with our bachelor, we have our own uni test. So after you've applied, you will get an invitation to sign up for an online uni test. You don't have to come to Denmark to do it. Just remember to sign up for the online one. And then you have 3 hours to answer approximately 100 questions. A lot about logical thinking, understanding and answering questions in English. There is a bit of math as well, but a lot of it's about maturity and readiness to study on a university level. Um, and that score we are looking at quite a lot. So if
So it
you
is for
have,
bachelor. It is for bachelor
that's for the
programs.
bachelor, yes.
And do they have any specific date for that exam, or like they can do it by their time, anytime?
It's specific dates. So you have to sign
Okay.
up for, choose a slot that fits you, and then it's a specific date that you've chosen and time as well.
Okay, so they
And
can choose
then,
their own time. They can choose their
yes,
own
but
time.
it's typically in the end of March, early April.
Okay, 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 okay. I understand.
Yes.
I understand. So based
But
on
you'll
that,
get an email.
is it like a multiple choice question?
Some of them are, yes, but some of them are also descriptive questions where you have to type out your answer.
Okay, and it's about maths and what else?
It's not a lot of math, there is a bit, but a lot of it is about understanding and answering questions in English, logical thinking, assessments as well. I know that I saw an example for one of the questions where it's there is a picture and you have to describe the picture but also figure out the emotions, and argue, of course, also your case, like why do you think that this person is maybe sad or happy or
I understand.
frustrated, things like that.
I understand. It's fun. All right then. So
Absolutely.
those are like, and also you ask for motivation letter as well for bachelor,
Yes.
but I
Yes.
guess it's not for masters. You don't need
Also
it.
for masters.
You need motivation letter.
Yes.
I understand. I understand. That's really good.
And of course, for
Graduated.
masters as well, if you have a summer school course that you've done, send proof of any additional courses, so that they count as well.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
If a student has participated in a summer school somewhere, uh, and you get a few extra credits from that, then you have to, of course, send that in as well if you want to apply for something specific that is maybe helping.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. That's really good. Because for January intake, like February intake, the application deadline is 1st of actually September actually.
Yes, and we don't have a lot of
No, I know.
masters,
Not
especially
many
on
master's
engineering,
program.
but we do have a few masters that do have September or February intake, but
Yeah.
not the ones that I know a lot about,
No,
unfortunately.
no, no, not lot of them, but still you do have few of them, I know. So like,
Exactly, yes.
and we do have few of these students, and we are going to work on it actually. So
Wonderful.
that's really good things actually. Like, and usually like a student also asks us a, I mean, it is, I know like the answer, but still I'm asking you the questions because this session will be recorded and later on our students will look on it. So that's why like a, so it will be easy for them to understand. So in Denmark, like do you have any like a centralized scholarship in general?
So the thing with the scholarships, we don't have, well, the way that the scholarships work is that every university get a specific amount of money from the Danish government that is meant to be used on scholarships. And then
Yes,
we decide how we would like to divide these scholarships. But typically in Denmark, most universities have previously or up until now decided to spend them on full scholarships.
I understand. No,
But that's changing a bit now.
I understand. Signe, actually, my question is that not that actually particularly. My question is that see, in as I am sitting in Sweden, and then we do have like Swedish Institute Scholarship in Sweden. Maybe you heard about it, like a SI scholarship in short. They say so. In all Sweden, we do have a scholarship from university side as well, which actually covers like a basically tuition fees 25 to 100% varies from university to university, same like you. But even in Sweden we do have central one, like a Swedish, I mean, government scholarship. So that
Yes,
one
yeah.
particularly covers tuition fees, on top of that like the surviving cost as well. Even in Finland they do have almost similar policy. So based on that I do have a question, because it is for the student, because I know like they ask us a lot these questions. So now it will
Yes.
be nice for them to know from your end, how does it work from Denmark,
We unfortunately do not have that.
any central one?
Yes, we
Okay,
don't
so
have any
it
central
depends
one.
from every university, and as it goes, like a mostly, as you said, still it
Yes.
is mostly 100%, whether they get it or not. That's it, and it is mostly, I mean, tuition fees. I mean, but it's not covering their maintaining cost. Am I right?
Well, the scholarships that we've had at SDU up until now have been full scholarships plus approximately 400 euros a month for living expenses. But that is going to change. That's the
Okay,
part
from
that's going to
upcoming year,
change.
from upcoming year,
Yes.
from
Yes.
upcoming year, and for January, you do not have any scholarship,
No.
unfortunately. Understand,
Unfortunately.
understand. No, so I mean, yeah. So even in Denmark, I mean, usually in Denmark, so does in general, so you said most of the universities they do cover like a universities, I mean, tuition fees, but they don't provide grant for the surviving, do they, in general?
No, that is true.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, so the reasons actually I asked you these questions, so it will be helpful for our students, because they have this kind of common questions. So it
Yes,
will
of
really
course.
help them to understand how does, I mean, SDU, and even in Denmark, how does it work?
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's good. Do you have any more slides to show us, or you're
Yes, I
almost
do.
in? Okay, go ahead, please.
So the language requirements that we accept, I know that some universities have started accepting, what's it called? The
PTE,
Duolingo ones,
Duolingo, and
PTE.
PTE.
Um, we do not accept those. We only
Yes,
accept TOEFL, IELTS, and Cambridge.
understand.
TOEFL, you need a minimum score of 88. IELTS, minimum band average of 6.5. If there are parts of the quiz, like some elements that are 5.5, that is fine, or 6.0, that's also fine. No lower than 5.5.
Okay, I
5.0 is
understand.
not
Five,
great,
no, I understand.
but
This
yeah,
is what actually most of the country they do. They don't go for
yes,
less than 5.5 actually. Yeah.
exactly. And of course, IELTS and TOEFL expire after 2 years. Cambridge, however, you need either a C1 of with a minimum score of 180 or a C2 proficiency. Cambridge does not expire. That is also why you need a higher score there than with
Mm-hmm,
the others.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But for IELTS, okay, I totally understand that. I understand that.
Yes,
So that's really good.
wonderful.
Yep. Any
And
more?
then we have, this is the last one, our website, and then of course also the information that we do offer something called Student for a Day. We do it both physically and online. So if you are ever in Denmark and would like to see the campus, see the university, sit in and try out some of the courses, talk to current students, we do offer that. It can be whenever it suits you. It's not a specific day. And online, of course, we could do it as well. That's going to be a bit harder with the show around and sitting in and trying out the classes. But we do have students ready to sit and talk to you about how it is to move to Denmark from a different country, or how the different study programs work, what they emphasize, and how to apply, and everything like that, if you'd like to talk to a student about it.
Mm-hmm. I
Yes.
understand. That's really good. We do have few questions here from our students.
Yes.
Let me, dear students, thanks for joining us. I mean, we do have few. I mean, so right now we'll answer all of the questions of your. I mean, whatever you do have. So, and also if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. We do have Signe Lund from SDU, so she'll be, I mean, answering all of your questions. We do have an Mr. Nazmul. He has said hey Lund, thank you so much for your time. I'm archaeology background. Tell me something about this field. If you have any
Yes.
more answer for this.
So unfortunately, we don't have archaeology at our university. I'm not sure about the other universities in Denmark, but there is a website called studyindenmark.dk where you can go in and look at all English taught programs in Denmark, and they can look if there might be a master that's interesting. I know that there are some, maybe Aarhus University has something, um, but yeah,
Hmm.
that's worth a look.
I understand. No problem. We'll look into it actually, and also if you have a academic background and all other things ready, then you can also send it to us, and then we can look at it, and then we can see which of the programs could be possible for you to look at.
Yes,
Because sometimes by looking at students' transcript and certificate, you can tell even more like what kind of things you can offer them.
exactly.
Other than
Yes,
that, by just knowing the one word, to be honest, is very difficult. Even though you have it, still whether they will be eligible for that particular one or not, you cannot give that guarantee, because there are many other facts depends if university, whether university will accept these students or not for that particular program. um,
yes.
okay, so so you already answered this. Most of the things actually you have already answered. They said dear professor, hope you are well. What is the IELTS requirement at SDU University of Bachelor program? So
Yes. Yes, so the IELTS minimum average of 6.5, no category lower than 5.5.
we have also answered. I mean, most of the things we have also already answered. How much tuition fee for business background students?
So for the business faculty, social science, it's actually much cheaper. The reason why engineering is so expensive is, of course, all the equipment that you're using. So for business and social science and stuff like that, you will have a tuition fee of €3,000 per semester. So 6,000 for a full academic year.
6,000 for full academic year
Yes,
is very cheap, isn't it?
it is.
It
It is
is.
indeed, yes.
It's very cheap. It's very cheap. Um, and one more question, okay, so they said how much do you have business background distance? Okay, and then I want to go to Denmark. Master's program requirement. So there is a question I want to go to Denmark, master's program requirement. So I think we have already discussed this one, right?
Yes,
I mean, mostly, of course, you have to have a bachelor degree, and at the same time, you should have IELTS or TOEFL. So these are most important thing to make the
exactly.
application.
And of course, a relevant bachelor for the master.
Yes, yes, it always matters. So here the student is saying, I'm Sabikun Nahar Mili from my background, SSC 3.72, 2019, HSC Higher Secondary Certificate 4.61, IELTS 6. Can I apply in Denmark with a spouse for bachelor? So, I mean, I think they can apply with their family. That's not an issue here for us.
Not at all.
Not at all.
You
So,
can
and
easily
also,
bring your
but
family.
but one thing I think I have noticed, she has IELTS 6.
Yes.
So for SDU particularly, you cannot apply. So Miss, Savikunar, for SDU University, you cannot apply at SDU. But I mean, on the other hand, we do have some other partner universities. Maybe if you knock us later on, we will let you know, like maybe in which other universities we can let you in. But as right now we are, I mean, having the session with SDU, don't want to promote any other partner universities right now. So feel free to knock us personally, I mean, in our email address or WhatsApp, then our team will assist you, please. Thank you so much. um, there is another question for MBA in HRM, how much it will cost?
So for the that would also be a business social science
Yes.
master. So that is also €6,000 per full academic year.
Okay, that's which is really really cheaper actually, very very cheaper, I would say. um, for bachelor, there is one interesting question that is saying, in bachelor program, how long a study gap do they allow?
So we actually don't have a limit on that. We have had students who've had no gap year. We've also had students who've had 2, 3 gap years. We've also had quite a lot of students who decided to work as electricians or something else like that for some time. And then at the age of 40 or 42, they decided that they'd like to study a bachelor in engineering. Um, so we've had students who've had a very long time since finishing high school.
I understand. So like usually you don't allow them, right? Like if they have like a long study gap,
Oh no, they are allowed.
they're allowed.
We don't
So
have a maximum gap year.
okay,
We could
yeah,
come
to
whenever.
yeah, see, even like a for studying in Europe for last around 12 14 years, even like a, I do have that kind of understanding, and this is what I always ask the students, like say, I mean, gap is not a matter, but you must have to prove the things why you do have gap. If you say, okay, I mean, after 12 classes, there is a 10 years gap, okay, but the thing is, it's very simple, then there will be question why you do have such gap. So you must have to prove yourself. You have some reasons. And if you say, oh, I haven't done anything, then unfortunately, university will not be happy to take you. Hope you are right. I guess, Lund, you will be agree with me, right?
Yes, that is true. If you've done something that's relevant in the last 10
Exactly,
years, or
exactly.
you know what you want, in Denmark, it's very typical that you take a year off to travel, which is also part of sort of developing your personal, yeah, your personality and what you want to do and becoming an adult. That is completely fine if you've done that a couple of years. But just sitting around in your parents' basement for 10 years, that's not going to look
Exactly. I
great.
mean, exactly. So the thing is, there should have some specific reason what you can say. I mean, of course people does something, but sometimes people cannot announce it, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you can say it officially, okay, this is what I have done, and there is particular reason, and now I do have particular reason why I really want to go back for my study after such a long back. If you have that reason to, say, then definitely you can get in. But if you say still,
Exactly.
oh, I don't know why I'm going to study, then that's not really nice anyway.
Exactly. And that's why we ask for the motivation letter, to make
Yes.
sure that you are applying because you're motivated now.
No, exactly. And by the way, like when you were saying about motivation later, do you have any particular words limit or anything like a?
One page
Okay,
written on a computer, that should
no, I
be no
understand.
longer than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
it arounds like if I use like a times new word, like usually like a most common word, 400 to 600 word maximum.
yes.
I mean, it depends like which number you
Oh
are
yeah.
using this and that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, this is like my calculation usually 400 to 600 word. I mean, yeah, actually, like sometimes it's also important. Like by words, you cannot say actually someone has written long words, someone written short words, short sentences. It doesn't matter actually. But most important thing is a story. You are
Yes,
telling your story to your professor or like a admission officers, like a why should they accept you. So you
exactly.
should have the story, proper story, right? So that's the important thing rather than just words actually, I will say. But usually you recommend one page
Absolutely.
including CV.
CV is not something that we require. If
Hmm.
you want to send the resume, you are more than welcome to, but it's not part of our requirements.
I understand. I understand. No issues. Hmm, that's good. How long is study gap? Okay, study gap I got. Okay. One is asking like a, so as during the session actually we are asking for the, we said about like they must have to go for the test actually for bachelor programs. So that's why one of the student has asked, sir, for this test our students have to pay any fees? So please answer this
No,
question.
not for the test. The
Okay.
test is something that's part of our admission,
Okay.
and it's not voluntary. So yes, you don't have to pay any, or no, you don't have to pay anything for it.
Yes, but
It's our
usually
own.
like
Yes,
usually is due they do have application fee. Of course you must have to pay application fees before
yes,
you apply, so that is part of that actually on the application process.
exactly.
You don't have to pay anything extra apart from that. So I have one last but not least questions actually. I'm a student of geography, geography and environment department, first year, CGPA 3.27, IELTS 6.5. In arts related subject, tuition fees per year in bachelor. Okay, so they're looking for I think like a arts related bachelor programs actually.
Right. Bachelor program in that area in arts. I don't think
I
we have anything at our
I think
university.
so. Yeah, I think so. We
Um,
don't have it actually.
we have a master in environmental studies that might be
Yes. Yeah.
interesting. But for the bachelor's that I haven't mentioned yet that we have is in European Studies, which is international politics and relations. That might be a bit interesting. Then we have one in global business relationships,
Okay.
and then
In
we have one
bachelor.
in bachelor's, yes, and then we have a bachelor in market and management anthropology.
Okay.
Um, they are all from the Faculty of Business and Social Science. So again, the the tuition fees for a full academic year, €6,000.
That's really, that's, is it like only for bachelor, business one, or is
It's
for even engineering one, is this also very cheap?
it's the 6,000 is for the bachelor's and master's in the Faculty of Business and Social Science. For the engineering ones, the tuition fees are a bit higher,
Yes,
approximately
yes, yes,
double.
yes.
So yeah, the tuition fees for the masters in engineering is €6,950 per semester, so 14,000 almost for full academic year.
So it's like almost double than like a
Yes,
that one, like a, okay,
yeah,
okay. So
but that's also because
business
yeah,
faculties one, even bachelor or masters, both are very very cheaper, I would say.
yes, yeah, and the reason why engineering is so much more expensive is because of the equipment. And
I
if
know.
there's something that you need for a semester project, you just let us know, and then we can order it for you.
I do understand. Actually, it is everywhere. It is very. It is compared to business or humanities faculties. I will say engineering faculties are always expensive. Are always
Yes,
expensive.
that is
Are
true.
always expensive. So yeah, that's good. All right, so that was, I mean, all of the questions actually from the students. I think it was really great sessions from the student side. They had asked lots of questions, and of course, you answered all of the questions. So we are almost end of the session today here. I will request you like a signal. Please send, if possible, please send me this PowerPoint one. So I would like to know some more things later on, and also the universe. I mean, list the countries list where they need 12 classes or 13 classes. If you have
Yes,
something link or like a whatever, if you have something, just share with me. So it will be really helpful for me,
absolutely.
and I'm really looking forward to see you, I mean, in Denmark. And also I really like to say thank you for joining us here today from your busy time,
I'm happy to.
to join us here today. So before we end up, if you have any final comments for our students, please.
I'm super happy that you took the time to sit and listen to me. There are probably a lot of questions that you didn't get answered, so feel free to contact any one of us, and we will do our best to answer all your questions. And of course, I hope to see all of you in Denmark studying, hopefully engineering. Yeah, and then just take good care.
All right then. So Signe, thank you so much one more time. And dear students, thanks for joining the session today. It was our pleasure. I mean, to have all of the questions, and hopefully you have enjoyed the session. And we'll see you in another session soon. Um, all right then. And so Signe, thank you so much. I would like to say everyone have a nice evening, guys, and take care of yourself. Have a good day. Bye bye. Bye bye, Signe. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.